Anyway, a few of you guys out there have made a few posts about some of the crazy rules and laws in your state about hunting and so on and so forth. Most of it's complaining about, types of firearms or whatever you can hunt with on properties, and different deer counts and stuff with your DNR or whatever. Well, here in Washington State, we deal with WDFW, which is Department of Fish and Wildlife, and the state. Lots of other private entities too. Weyerhaeuser, Longview Fiber, National Parks Department, National Forests, so Forest Service. You're dealing with, your city, your county, your state, your federal law enforcement out here. So you got federal fish and wildlife out here too. Anyway, just give you an idea of what a guy's up against this year. Right off the bat, to even go out in the woods here to hike or anything, you gotta have a discovery pass. This particular pass costs I think it's like $35 now. If you don't display this thing in your rearview mirror, hang pass and rearview mirror, and this side facing the driver. So it has to be this way, hanging from the mirror. So it gives specific instructions on how to do that. Then down here at the bottom, it says, it's required for a particular vehicle. So, at one point in time, the license plate number was wrote in here, but because the sun shines on this thing, it was actually a different color than this too. It's faded out. I'm going to have to re-ink it in there before hunting season starts here. Anyway, that has to be hung up here in the rearview mirror. Pretty much anywhere you go, you got to have that one up there. Then when you buy your hunting license, you get this one here. Same thing. You got to have your license plate number on there to validate it. Same thing. Do not laminate this. You can get a citation if you're out on. Basically, what this is for Department of Fish and Wildlife lands. So if you're on WDFW lands, you got to have this one out here. Hang from rearview mirror with this facing front. Okay, so anyway, you got to put that one up there. So as soon as you put that up there, guess what happens? You can't see it, or you can't see the other one. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is how ridiculous it really gets. We're just getting started here. Then I purchased some private property out here, hunting rights on some private property, which is Weyerhaeuser. They give you another one of these things. This one here is for Columbia River West, which is basically from the I-5 corridor towards the ocean, 100,000 acres or whatever. But anyway, there's some places in here where you can pull some firewood out with a bunch of different rules. To use this, first of all, I can't have my buddy go hunting with me unless he's actually on the written permit, which I'll get to in a second. I can have my family members, or basically people that are under the age of 18. They have the same last name as me, that are my children or whatever, and other members of the household, to include my spouse. Now this here also has to hang on the rear mirror. I don't see a bunch of rules on this because it's pretty much the same on both sides, so that goes on the rear mirror too. Okay, so now you can't see the middle one at all. Also, with that particular one, for Weyerhaeuser, you gotta have the permit with you, which is, a whole bunch of, miscellaneous things here. You have to have a fire extinguisher, a shovel, and an axe with you, which are mounted in the back of the truck. There's all kinds of craziness rules in here. You can't go in an hour and a half before sunrise. You can't be in there an hour and a half after sunset. So if you shoot an elk or Sasquatch or whatever out there right at dark, you better get the chainsaw up, cut that thing up real quick, and get it in the truck, because anyway, I don't want to get into that. But you can camp out there. So you can go out there, set up camp, but you can't drive in or out of there an hour and a half before or after dark. Anyway, one of the other rules I saw in here, which was kind of crazy, is if you're going to smoke a cigarette or whatever, you can't get out of your vehicle with a lit cigarette. I kind of get that. People driving down the road and flick cigarettes and stuff out, but I can have a campfire so long as it's so many feet from, water source, and so on and so forth. So I can sit around my camp and smoke a cigarette and, you know, do miscellaneous things there. There's some ORV things in here about motorcycles and stuff. Oh, here you go. Temp must be 50 feet away from a body of water. Motor vehicles must be 100 feet away from water. Human waste must be 6 inches deep. Blah, 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 blah. And there's a whole bunch of gray water things, and you can only camp for 10 days in one spot, and so on and so forth. So anyway, very complicated situation there just to deal with one piece of hunting ground. Now, when I get to the ORV part of this thing, is a lot of guys like to get on their motorcycles and go out in the woods and so on. Well, not in this case. You can't go out on a motorcycle, even if it's licensed for the road. So if I'm riding around down here, downtown Seattle, Portland, wherever, on a motorcycle, I can't take that out in this area and go hunting on this motorcycles. I can't even put it in the back of the truck and keep it in the back of the truck and be on their property. So anyway, I got that. That's down here. They also give you a map with all kinds of places where the gates are and where your access is and stuff, which is not accurate at all. So that's a whole new surprise there. Then on top of it, because I'm a disabled veteran and such, I've got this disabled hunter pass. I'm not sure where, it doesn't really say where this is supposed to mount. Maybe like right there in front of the windshield so they can see that. I'm guessing so long as it's up here where you can see it, you're in good shape. That's got its own science. There's a couple holes in here. I don't know if that's just for a binder or what. So I think we'll probably stick that underneath the pad mount up here in the front. Then, of course, you know, you got this thing here, which is because of my knee surgeries I had this year. They give me a 1-year pass for this too. So, you know, that's got to hang up here too someplace. And there's that. Now, that covers my guy, this dude sitting here behind the wheel. It doesn't cover the person sat next to me. My daughter has, you know, her own WDFW pass. And anyway, so much was life. Just wanted to share that with you a little bit. I think probably, you know, you can go up here maybe to a junkyard. We can get a whole bunch of rearview mirrors, just put them all across the whole front here and display these things or something. You think they could probably come up with one placard that you buy a tab like for your vehicle and just put it on that thing for all these different things. So you have one thing up here with all these different tabs, and each one of them is uniquely registered to you in it or your vehicle or your hunting license or whatever. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you a little bit there. Sorry it's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of that stuff there, what we got as far as challenges, just getting into the woods. We're not even talking about hunting licenses or calibers of firearms or, you know, firearms restriction areas or different seasons of archery and muzzleloader, or then there's overlap seasons where, you know, anyway, I'll make another video on that and kind of entertain your thoughts on that one. It's kind of fun to see what other areas are doing. I know some of you guys back in Iowa and Missouri or Arkansas or wherever you live, you got your own rules and craziness there, just like we do out here. So anyway, I guess you just kind of wing it, and if they give you a bad time, you just maybe ask them at that point in time, you know, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff that's up here? You know, this doesn't even cover the boat launch thing. You know, boat launch thing, I got a whole nother, you know, to park in those areas like that. I've got a card in my wallet that's about the size of a credit card, supposed to be displayed up here, that takes care of the parking fee. And so anyway, I'll leave you with that. It's going to be fun. It's the 25th. Hunting season starts here on Saturday. Today's Monday. I'm going to get out in the woods and do a little smoke pole shooting this week, and after that it'll be lights, camera, action. Hopefully we can get it in the freezer before it starts raining or something crazy out this way. Been a real dry summer. So all right, catch you guys later.